Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich with me, Alpha Biomega, in German Empire. So in the last episode we were hit by the Black Friday, but contrary to my expectations, we actually can still function, which is pretty good. Unless something horrifying is gonna happen during this episode, we can continue in our plans, and we are already on the way to recovery. Shanking Tianguo declared, Governor Zhang Zongchang, known throughout China as the dog-meat general, is dead. Reports coming out from Yunnan allege that Zongchang and his top lieutenant Sun Dianying had attempted to storm the sacred Taishan earlier this week and did not survive the assault. This astounding news comes with proclamation from the new master of Taishan, Zhang Tiaran, that he now rules Shandong and all of its people. Zhang Tiaran is a less notable figure to the newspapers, but is well known to the refugees of the eastern China as the benevolent leader of the Yuandao cult. To the more conservative refugees, this event symbolizes something brighter in store for China. This will not go well. Why? This seems like a positive news. So you all are part of the... Okay, you're all associates of the Qing government. And there's a League of 8 provinces here. Okay, so there are two main factions in China. That's good to know. Good to know. Okay, end of the Black Week. Cool. So we got our stability back, at least a bit. The situation hardly improved in the days following Black Monday, which was the start of what became known as the Black Week. Panic selling of stock reached an all-time high as people tried to dump their stocks before they became worthless. When the Berlin stock market closed at the end of the week, the market was as dead as the 11 major economic experts and top executives in Germany that had committed suicide. The German government had to act. We must reform the economy. Okay, so extra stability, which means that we are constructing factories. No, I'm still interested in the decision whether or not austere finance advocate. How long does it take to build 5 factories? 25th of April, so about 4 months. If we increase the construction speed or drop the construction speed by 10%, would it be worth those 10%? Well, basic math dictates that to make that happen, I mean, there's a compound agreement, it's a compound component of this, so it's hard to quantify, but at this point it seems like it would be better to liquidate the unprofitable estates, save the stability, and rebuild them later down, and hire this guy. We'll have to see. The Austrian Empire withdraws from Italy. It is clear that Black Monday has hit the Austrian Empire hard. The Austro-Hungarian Reichskriegsminister today announced he was recalling divisions stationed in Italian territory, unable to afford the financial burden of keeping them safe from the Socialist Republic of Italy. For good or ill, the Italian Republic is now effectively independent of Austrian domination, at least until the Austrians regain their full strength and decide whether or not their interests in the Italian peninsula are worth regaining. Many in the Italian Republic have expressed worry about whether or not this will leave them exposed to attack by the Socialist Republic of Italy, a move which would move Italy into civil war. If I'm not mistaken, If they attack the Italian Republic, they will get into conflict with two Sicilies as well. Together these two armies are stronger, but I think they lost last time pretty quickly. So we'll have to see. Might actually go ahead and provide them with some lend-lease. Or maybe send even volunteers if the game will allow us to do that. Which I'm not definitely sure of. Okay, we just definitely need more support equipment. The illusion of the Qing hegemony shatters. The facade of Chinese unity, having held together for nearly a decade, has begun to crumble. Rising unrest in the League of Eight Provinces, the economic shock of Black Monday, portending German retrenchment, and the inability of the national government to deliver a decisive response to either has made one thing clear. Beijing's monopoly on power is broken, and now the future is any man's game. Nanjing Creek. Yeah, they're already fighting. Kuomintang has appeared. Oh yeah, China has immediately descended into chaos. So DKAEB nears bankruptcy. Founded by the early 20th century, the Deutsche Kaiserreich Abyssinian Eisenbahn is a holding company that oversees the railway between Addis Ababa in Ethiopia and Djibouti. After a series of German-backed expansions, the line is now used to transport ore from the Congo Basin to Djibouti. The current economic downturn has meant that ore is not being bought at the same rate as before, resulting in fewer transports for the DKAEB. To prevent Ethiopia from slipping out of the grasp, Dar es Salaam has asked to be allowed to act. While most in Berlin think the matter can be handled locally, others would prefer the Colonial office to make the decision, whatever that may be. Actually, so Middle Africa is asking us to allow them to act. Isn't Middle Africa responsible for Middle African affairs? So the government shows to Ethiopia. Tell Middle Africa to take the shares. To prevent Ethiopia from slipping out of our grasp, let's tell Middle Africa to take the shares, though I'm not entirely sure what that is going to result in. Marshal Wu Peifu backs Nanjing. Following the death of Marshal Sun Chuanfang earlier this year and the subsequent collapse of the Qing authority over much of China, few expected Imperial Minister of the Army Wu Peifu, the real power behind the throne in Beijing, to take overt military action. Yet this morning he and the Assembly President Chao Kun announced their formal support of the provincial government in Nanjing, the remnants of the old League of Eight Provinces. Okay, then the situation in China is changing by the day. Okay, the Nanjing Creek is at war with whom? With Kuomintang and Anqing, which is this. Okay, there are massive alliances everywhere. And the Shanghai Tingguo declared war on Nanjing Creek. Okay, well, Nanjing Creek is gone because more and more people are declaring war on them. German diplomats and strategists are no doubt breathing a sigh of relief as Wu Peifu's military support for the new League Marshal Qi Qianwan may be the deciding factor in his war against both the resurgent KMT and the Anhui provinces, aligned with Fengtian and by extension Japan. Okay, how is Japan involved in this? Not at all. Okay. Yeah, the Nanjing Creek is the strongest of them all, and they have other support here, so they might be able to handle this. Dominion, Canada, and Afghanistan ended their hostilities, and it seems like it's a white peace, because nothing really happened. Okay. Cool. I mean, there never really was any danger to them. But Japanese troops garrison Tianjin. Wait, wasn't Tianjin ours? No, it was the legation city, wasn't it? Oh, I'm confused. Tianjin, Ningbo, Shanghai, Tianjin. Yeah, it's a vacation city. It seems that the economic woes have gone down hard on the vacation cities, and they have decided to outsource much of their security operations to the Japanese to keep their economy afloat. While there is little we can do to stop them, there has been uproar in the council over the shifting balance of power, and with calls for Japanese to not abuse their position in the city. Worrying to say the least. Okay, well, the only thing we can do is chug along and hope we can fix this. Okay, more war in China. The Hauptstarke Terror. With the devastating economic situation, many families struggle to earn their daily bread, and the social security net is strained to the breaking point. In recent weeks, the streets of many German cities have been increasingly terrorized by gangs of teenagers. These Hauptstarke steal products from the markets and shops, and often money from innocent pedestrians, or commit acts of vandalism to escape boredom and frustration. Few citizens feel safe on the streets anymore, and it is clear that what some in the government might see merely as low-level disorder instead has the making of total societal breakdown. 20% stability lost. Yeah, that's a big hit. Restoration of democracy in Australasia. Nice. Social conservatism. Next election. Okay. The Australasian Confederation has been under the authoritarian rule of Governor-General William Birchwood since the British invocation of the emergency protocols in 1924, considered by many in the nation to have been a heavy-handed response to the Melbourne Commune syndicalist uprising. Birdwood finally relented to calls for an open election, leading to the expected result of Stanley Bruce's United Australasia Party achieving a majority government in the Canberra Parliament. Bruce is expected to have a tough time ahead of him, with labour unrest on the rise and calls for the revocation of the Birchwood's more egregious restrictions on personal liberty. I'm not entirely sure, but if I remember correctly, Australia last time descended into syndicalist hellhole. So hopefully that's not gonna be what's gonna happen this time. Okay. Financial trouble in the colonies. So we finished the aftermath of the Black Monday. Let's... oh god, we have to make this choice now. Consumer goods factories minus 15. No, you know what, let's go with the bailout university. So we won't have the political power to hire that guy anyway anytime soon. Let's go with this one. The president of the Reichsbank, Karl Halferich, has demanded a green light to go ahead with his economic program dubbed the Halferich Plan. According to him, we need to bail out the highly indebted Juncker estates if we don't want to trigger an even further descent into chaos. Yeah, I think this is... Oh man, this is super hard. Because for months we would have, and I don't think we will have time to hire him anyway anytime soon. Construction. Just 10%. Inflation policy. Stability. I mean, this guy is super valuable. 65. And consumer goods. Factories 90. So 5%, that's like 5 factories. No, actually more, 5%. Well, I don't know. This is a hard decision, but these ones are gonna remove the consumer goods factories faster. This is super annoying because I'm not sure what to do. Well, my gut is telling me to go with this one. No, but in the end, let's go with liquidate the unprofitable estates. The statesman Hjalmar Schacht has recently published an essay titled The Black Zero, The Need for Austerity, in which he demands absolute balanced discipline, even if it meant losing some companies depending on subsidies. This essay has found a lot of adherents within the populace, and liquidating a few unprofitable companies may be just what we need to alleviate our expenditures. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Pardon me. Financial troubles in the colonies. Some maverick politician proposed distributing more resources to the colonies to the detriment of the German national, which would obviously not be popular. Dedicate as many resources to the colonies as they need. Only cover the most critical expenditures. Tighten our belts. Can't help them in our dire times. Well, dedicate as many resources to the colonies as possible. I mean, why would we need factories? We don't need factories at all. Pardon me, my phone started ringing. So, Democratic Coalition established in Mexico. With the recent death of Mexican revolutionary Emiliano Zapata, Mexico has fallen into a power vacuum with unclear leadership and failing government structures. While the most ardent loyal members of the government still had faith on a swift recovery, the passing of the freedom fighter had shown Mexico that the syndicalist-inspired democratic government would need serious reform too, if it were to continue. In the midst of Zapata's fatal shooting on the streets of Mexico City, a coalition of democratic parties has decided to compromise in an attempt to rein in the violence that plagued the country and move onward towards stability. Viva Mexico! And Sylvia Pankhurst elected chairman of the TUC. The 1936 Trade Union Congress in the Union of Britain was made out to be decisive. Longtime chairman of the TUC, Philip Snowden, declared his resignation, causing the four major factions in the Union, Maximists, Autonomists, Federationists, and Congregationists, to butt heads over the position. And as the dust settled, Sylvia Pankhurst, the leader of the Congregationists, was elected as the new chairman, or chairwoman in this case. Pankhurst is one of the few female leaders on the planet, and her ideology of a radical feminist and egalitarian approach fits this situation. All interesting. Okay, so let's go for a bit longer, and we'll see. The death of Pius XI. All Christendom mourns the death of His Holiness Pope Pius XI, who died following a heart attack after having been in declining health for the past several years, something which rapidly worsened following Black Monday. The Holy Father will soon be interned with the rest of his predecessors in the tomb of the popes. Until the next pope can be chosen, the papal state will be ruled by the College of Cardinals in Rome. The succession of His Holiness is made all the more important due to the Catholic Church's role in governing the reborn papal state, as well as the vehement opposition to syndicalism, a force which has divided Italy and seeks to once again unify the Italian peninsula. Now, I didn't even notice we have the papal states here. Nice. They even got some factories and one division. So when Mussolini asks Pope how many divisions does he have, we can answer 1. More war in China. Wow, this is chaos. And the Kuomintang is actually... That's kind of funny. Kuomintang is fighting both of these. These guys are fighting everyone else. It's everyone for themselves, I guess. Agricultural crisis in Middle Europe. During this time of great crisis, the complacent agriculture sector of the German economy has proven to be particularly vulnerable to the economic downturn. With this in mind, several Junkers representing the landed nobility of the Kingdom of Prussia have asked for protectionist legislation and state subsidies for their agricultural production. By imposing tariffs on foreign produce, we will strengthen this vital sector of the Reich's economy and protect our farmers. Unfortunately, such a measure is likely to cause further damage to the economy of our neighbors, dependent as they are on German markets for their food exports. The wheat crop in the Ukraine is particularly vulnerable, and choosing to enact protectionism measures might seriously damage them and our other agrarian partners. We must protect our own peasants. We shall not risk our Middle Europe ties. Gain agricultural aid to Eastern Europe, which grants weekly stability lowered by 1% for 105 days. Focus our future, huh? Well, let's not risk our Middle Europe ties. I mean, that might be the wrong choice, but we're all in this together. Oh yeah, baby, we're gonna lose that precious stability. Okay, and the last event for this episode, the First International Congress. Delegates from socialist nations and political movements around the world gathered in Paris today for the latest in a series of world congresses. But the mantle of the Third Internationale was taken up by the communards after the Russian Civil War. The ideological tenor of the event promises to be very different, with syndicalist parties being the newly dominant force of the far left. Delegates were greeted by a military parade, an exhibition of avant-garde art, and finally a speech by the chairman of the CCP. At the top of the agenda is the spread of the revolution to Asia and North America, ongoing conflict in Spain, policy on colonialism, and the requirements for membership of the First Internationale's military alliance. An interesting development. So let me just check what's going on in Russia. Dmitry Romanov, autocratic charmer. Did you actually go with restoring the monarchy? Russian... No, it's still Russian Republic. It's just a name. Probably the Republic survives. Dmitry Romanov is the current leader. Restoring the monarchy. Okay, so they cannot go with the firm hand. It's gonna be one of these two. Okay, well, we shall see. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.